What is up, everybody? Nero X, the madman from the Midwest, back again for another episode of Digging in the Crates. And today we are going to be discussing one of my favorite albums ever written, the Red Hot Chili Peppers' Californication. Californication was released in 1999. It is the next album that was produced by Rick Rubin, and this is John Frusciante's comeback album, because in between Blood Sugar Sex Magic and One Hot Minute in Californication, John Frusciante had pretty much fallen off the face of the earth. He unfortunately became addicted to heroin, and he was in a really bad place in his life. Apparently, after Dave Navarro left, the group went on a bit of a break. When it came to recording, they didn't record, they didn't really do anything. But Flea had kept in touch with John. They'd managed to talk John into going into rehab. He did, got himself sober, and thank you, Lord, he got himself sober, because as a guitarist, I love John Frusciante's work on this album. It is simply amazing. But I'm getting off background topics. Let's move on. This album, much like Blood Sugar Sex Magic, was produced by Rick Rubin. This is John's sort of his redemption album. And this album is... how do I put this? This album is somber almost in its tone, but I'll continue with that in a second. Please enjoy this random picture. And now, let's talk about the real meat of this album. Okay, first of all, like I said, this is John Frusciante's comeback album, and you can tell just how committed he was to making the guitar work on this album sound as amazing as possible. I mean, oh my goodness, I always have an eargasm whenever I hear his riff on Scar Tissue. Like, John Frusciante, like, if you follow my channel for a bit, you know I play guitar, and John Frusciante is a big influence on, like, the way I approach playing guitar. John just knows how to put his hands in the right places to get these beautiful riffs and beautiful melodies, and it seems like he and Flea are like totally in sync with each other. It's almost frightening how good John is on this album. Flea is amazing on bass as always, and this is the album that kind of proves to you that Anthony Kiedis, his singing has always been a bit, shall we say, shaky, to put it, mildly. But, usually they have other songs where he's rapping on the album, to kind of offset it, because, so the singing won't be his focus. On this album, this is one of the first albums, I think, that he sings a majority of the way through it. And, it works, because, like, Anthony himself has said he's not the best singer in the world. That's fine. But the thing about Anthony Kiedis' voice is it's hard to imagine anyone else singing a Red Hot Chili Peppers song other than him. Like, if if Anthony left the band, like, who could they get to replace him? It's one of those things. It's like, he's not the best singer in the world, but dang it, it works for the Red Hot Chili Peppers music. And like I said earlier, this is one of the first really somber of an album, because of everything John had gone through, being on heroin, getting off of heroin, getting himself sober. And if you look at performances from about this time, you'll notice that a couple of John's teeth are missing, because they had fallen out while he was still, addicted to drugs. Stay off of drugs, kids. And shockingly, as opposed to the Red Hot Chili Peppers custom, he wears a shirt through the majority of these performances, because his body was still healing and the scars still showed from when he was addicted to heroin. But anyway, enough of discussion about drugs. This album is amazing. It came out in '99, and it has withstood the test of time. I think better than anyone anticipated. It's still great to this day. Go check this album out. Californication is a must listen in my opinion for any Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. This is an album that shows not only maturity in lyrics, especially if you really pay attention to them, but it shows just how much the band learned over the years of being together, going through those ups and downs on the road. But enough of that slobbing all over it. With all of that being said, I am NeroX. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want more. Now I must go. My planet does need me. Peace.